it's just so special for such our club, mate, our club.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.
Hey there, TJ here, and welcome to Yeahthedees, where I am going through our round 8 clash against the Saints at the MCG on Mother's Day, Sunday the 8th of May at 1:10. It was a nice day, a little bit windy, but great game of footy, really enjoyable, even though it was pretty much done halfway through the second quarter. But yeah, still really enjoyable game. Bit of news for the club during the week, and that was Simon Goodwin getting 2 years extension on his contract, which is pretty fantastic. What's even more fantastic is that he has structured his contract in a way that will not push anybody out of a job, with the soft cap being so low. So that's fantastic. He's really interested in doing what's best for the club and setting that example. And what a great leader. Walking the walk and talking the talk, which is fantastic from Simon Goodwin. Coached a brilliant game today, which we'll get into shortly. But yeah, let's talk about a few of the other things that we heard during the week. Something that is going around is the Carl Amon rumours about him wanting to go to a club in Melbourne, and that Melbourne is one of the possible suitors. Now, if we were to go for him, it's obvious that we wouldn't be paying someone to come into a premiership side $600,000 a year or anything like that. Like, if he was going to come, he won't be getting paid more than some of the premiership players that would be on less. That's for certain. He would, but because we would become a destination club, I'm not surprised he'd be interested. He'd be pretty brilliant to put on the wing. Would push out, probably push out a James Jordan from the side, which would be unfortunate. But yeah, look, if something like that happened and you got Salem fit, it would give the opportunity to move Brayshaw into maybe the James Harmes role, or Tom Sparrow, or what James Jordan's doing, and Carl Amon could run up and down the wing, which could be quite interesting. But yeah, nothing for us to really worry about when we've got 27, 28 players that are quite capable of playing in this Melbourne system and playing quite well. So, I'm sure we'll hear more about that as the year goes on and more rumours about that. But, yeah, it looks like he will definitely be leaving Port Adelaide. And he is quite a talented player. If you put him in with a good team that lift him around him, he will do very, very well, that's for sure. Other things that were interesting is, unfortunately, Michael Hibberd keeps pulling his calf. He hasn't played a full game of football yet this year, which is really sad. I think it's the third time he's done something to it. And, it's quite common in people that are over 30 and playing football. So, bit sad to see that Michael Hibberd is not getting out on the park at the moment, but hopefully that can happen towards the end of the year. I think Jaden Hunt is doing a great job at the moment in that role. Anyway, let's talk about the team. It was great to see all these premiership players come back into the side. Definitely makes us a better side. This is probably the best side we've put on the park so far in 2022, missing only 2 premiership players in Hibberd and Salem. Plenty of premiership players there to take on the Saints, who are also fairly strong. They're only really missing Billings. So, yeah, this was meant to be a big challenge. The Saints were going to be coming for us. That's what everyone was saying, that this is our first real challenge for 2022, which I think is just absolutely rubbish. Yeah, so let's have a look quickly at who we played. We played the Bulldogs, who were runners-up in the grand final. Yeah, they've lost their bite, but, that's our fault as well. We probably did that to them. Played the Suns, who are rubbish and are always rubbish, but they're usually up and about at the start of the year, got the job done. Essendon played finals and were meant to be, this awesome team this year. We beat them as well. Port Adelaide, top 4 side, smashed them also. Giants played finals last year, beat them as well. Richmond won 3 flags in 4 years, missed the finals last year, but they think that they're a red hot shot. We beat them again. The Hawks, the big surprise packet of 2022, we beat them also. So what do you mean that we haven't beaten anybody? The clubs are in the bottom 10 because they're losing matches, and we've caused one of the losses. Like, it's just, people move the goalposts all the time. Oh yeah, you're a good side, but no, we're the best side. The D's are the best side. We're the best side by far. Doesn't matter who we play at all. Like, we could play top 8 sides, we could play bottom 10 sides. It doesn't matter who we play, because we're just in a league of our own, and we've proved it again by smashing this St Kilda side, who, everyone's touting as a top 4 team this year. So yeah, I'm just sick of people moving the goalposts and saying, oh, we haven't played anyone, or they haven't played anyone, or whatever. The fixture's the fixture. The AFL sets up the fixture. You don't know how teams are going to go, how teams are going to roll in, what changes, Adelaide went from a grand final side to doing a really bad camp to coming last pretty quickly. So that happens. You don't know what sides are going to turn up. We had one of the hardest draws at the start of the year. It was like the second hardest, I'm pretty sure. And everyone was like, oh, God, it's going to be tough. And then now we've played nobody. Come on, guys. Absolute rubbish. So when someone tells you they haven't played nobody, tell them they're an idiot, because it's someone saying something like that knows nothing about football. Anyway, let's go on to the first quarter. So you'd think the Saints would be pretty rampaging, going into this game. They'd won 13 of their last 16 quarters of football, despite losing by a point to Port Adelaide last week. So they're challenging teams. They're on a winning run. They're doing well. They're coming in, and they're going to try some things to, stop us from doing what we do best. And we kicked 4 goals to none in the first quarter. We went back to holding a team goalless, which was fantastic. And that was all because of this beautiful man, Kozzy Pickett. Like, what an absolute jet he is, and how good was his speed and pressure around the ball. It was phenomenal, and it's so exciting to watch. He's got that buzz that Cyril had. He has the energy that Dusty has. You just, whenever he gets around the ball, you get towards the edge of your seat, because you don't know what you're going to see. You're going to see a snap. You're going to see some tackle and weaving and ducking and moving under. Like, something always happens when Kozzy Pickett's around the ball. And it's just such a thrill for D's fans. He kicked the first goal in 28 seconds. And we're up and about from there. Although the Saints, they controlled the ball for the next few minutes and they did all right. They didn't, get much reward. We got that first goal off the mark pretty quickly with Kozzy Pickett. And then the Saints were trying to, really control the ball. They were switching a lot. Got a couple of half chances, but, missed them both. And they just got choked up the ground. Yeah, there was a good sort of, 6, 7, 8 minutes of game time where they were controlling the ball, but they weren't doing anything damaging with it. And trying to switch to find open players, and every time they'd switch, our whole defensive unit would run across and guard and defend, and it is a beauty to watch live. Oh, I love watching the D's live, because you can just see that how difficult it is for them to break through and to give their forwards chances. Like Max King ends up with only 4 touches in this game, which is really, really low for him. The way that we play either makes you go slow like that and look up. And if you go slow and look up, everyone's guarded, you're going to kick to a contest. And we're going to split it 50-50 a lot of the time. For you to score against us, you either have to try and play slow and absolutely nail your kicks, or play fast and have 4, 5, 6 absolute perfect possessions in a row to get an opportunity on goal. And that is really hard in a game of AFL football, especially if, you're covered or you're playing one-on-one. Like, you need to get to 2-on-1s, you need to be making overlaps, you need to be spreading to really get the ball through us. And most teams will turn it over in 3 or 4 possessions. They'll turn the ball over or kick it to a 50-50 contest. And then we were just so good with ground balls. We were just picking everything up and not really giving the Saints a chance. They would just get stuck and stuck again going forward. Just absolutely unreal. Some great work for Charlie Spargo to get a goal here, just running up and down the ground, putting himself in the right position to take that mark. I thought Stephen May was huge in this first quarter. He took, a couple of intercept marks. But I really loved Rivdog's goal off one step, 55 metres out, to just go bang and put it through. It was really, really, really nice. And we kicked 2 goals from the last 8 inside 50s that we had. And that was, Charlie and Trent having a go. Kozzy went bang again, gets a second goal in this quarter. And he kicked 2-1 and kicked 1 out on the full. So he could have easily had 4 goals in this first quarter, but unfortunately didn't get it done. But 8 disposals, 4 of them being involved in scores. That was the best first quarter I've seen him play in a little while. Absolutely love it. I couldn't believe that Tim Embry was getting a shot on goal pretty much on the siren. Like, to take a mark with 3 seconds left or 10 seconds left, 30 seconds, whatever it was, I was just like, oh man, I really wanted to keep them goalless again. And then he kicks it into Harrison Petty's hand and he touches the ball. You just see him turn around straight away and you just got to laugh. It's just like, oh man, like, they could have gone running into their little quarter time huddle and been fine, but Instead, they're walking with their heads down because this dickhead doesn't know how far to stand away from the guy on the mark. Oh God, I laughed so much. It was just fantastic. What a good laugh. But anyway, let's get into the second quarter. Early into the second quarter, and we give Ben Brown an opportunity to kick a goal. We're just right on top. You know, the Saints are second guessing themselves. They're second guessing themselves when they're moving and switching, and it really caused some problems for them. Heard later in the after game interviews with Brett Ratton that think that they were trying to change some things from what they usually do, and they sort of went to the extremes and all that sort of stuff. It's like I don't think that they went to the extremes with that. I think they looked up and went uh-oh and switched, and they would switch and then get to that point and then look up and go uh-oh. They never had great opportunities to kick to. The first half was Melbourne brand footy, and it was just fantastic to watch. But let's go through this absolute barrage of goals after Rowan Marshall finally broke the drought for them. Tom McDonald gets his first goal in his 200th game. Fantastic for him to have hit 200 games as well. This Gus Brayshaw goal, like one reward for effort because he had a brilliant game. But number two, the angle that he was on, kicking it, you know, his foot's not the best sometimes. He gets a bit excited and just doesn't execute perfectly. But that goal was unreal from such an angle on 50 metres. And then our momentum just kept going. Ben Brown with his big long arms grabs another one and does some great work. Tom McDonald kicks a second goal in this quarter. Yeah, Clayton Oliver went nuts. Won 5 clearances. Yeah, the game was won here. Like, by the time Tom McDonald's kicked this goal, it's game over. Like, it's just put the cue in the rack, check out. Because the Saints aren't even going to kick 9 goals for the game. You know, we keep most teams to around 58 points. We kept the Saints to 55 here. Yeah, you know, the Hawks got to 81 last week, but we had 5 premiership players out. So that wasn't a normal game. But this is, you know, putting pressure on. And, you know, the Saints put pressure on us as well. Like, we kicked 9 goals with them in between a 180 to 200 pressure rating. There's Membry kicking his goal. He always gets a goal, so against us. So, yeah, they snuck home 2 towards the end of that quarter to make it a little less bad. But, yeah, look, game's done. Like, they couldn't even beat our halftime score with the full game. So, it's like we literally didn't have to score again to win, but we did. Basically, 45 minutes of play and the game's over. 9 goals. It was 9 goals to 1 before the Saints kicked those last 2. You know, when we're at around this mark, it's like the game's done. So whether that's bad coaching, doing things like spreading and all that, I don't know. But, you know, the Saints, you know, couldn't get it done. Let's get into the third quarter now. And the third quarter, the Saints looked a bit better, but when it comes down to it, they kicked 2 goals 3 to we kick 1 goal 2. You're not putting a dent into the game by only kicking 1 more goal than us. It's just, I watched first crack, and Lee Montagna, you know, he froths about the Saints because they're his old team. He was the one saying that the Saints can get up and beat the D's and all this sort of stuff, and it's like, here's your reality check, mate. You ain't going to beat the D's. And came out on last crack and was like, oh, you know, we kept Melbourne to 5 goals in the second half. And it's like, but you only kicked 5 goals in the second half as well. And we didn't need to kick them. We had the game won. We were kicking goals for fun. Because it's just, we're not going to put ourselves in risky positions for players to get injured when the game's already been won. That's just the way that it is. We have such a strong crew that is so fit, minimal injuries, and it's because of the way that we play. A lot of more teams that play, you know, ballistic football will have more injuries. Max King, you know, he got a few chances, you know, mainly from free kicks. There's a few dumb free kicks given away by the D's in this game, but there was also, you know, a few free kicks missed and things like that. Love the Ben Brown goal here where he realised that it was touch, turned and snapped. His kicking is elite, and how good is it to just have someone that talented and that tall to just slot into the forward line. He ends a streak of 4 consecutive goals to the Saints. Yeah, we didn't get reward for some of those inside 50s. The Saints did change how they played a bit. They put Brad Hill behind the ball, which was a very, very good move because he wasn't touching it when he was up forward. They had a really good intercept marking quarter that quarter. They challenged at the elite level and still got beaten. So that was our first third quarter that we lost this season. And we lose it by a couple of points. It's like, no big deal. Nothing to worry about. Especially when the game was all said and done so early. Let's get into the fourth quarter. Nice for us to have a nice quick start, and Bailey Fridge puts a goal on the board, makes it even easier. Yeah, dominating out of the middle. 13 centre bounce clearances to the Saints 7. We kicked 3 goals from that, and they kicked none. That's big stuff. That's good. You know, a lot of people complain about how the D's are in centre clearance, and yeah, had the Saints number pretty much for that game, especially with a sore Max Gawn. Saints get a couple of goals, but there's nothing to worry about. Cozzy kicks another goal late, which is awesome. So he went pretty much missing after that first quarter. Like, he was around, but just not around the ball. You know, he only got four more touches, I think, after that first quarter. But yeah, still played a great game. Jeez, he's already up to 46 games. How quick's that happened? Harmsy just turns it up in the last 5 minutes, kicks 2 goals. We keep St Kilda scoreless for those 6 minutes as well. So it's like, you know, if they're rampaging and they're trying to try hard, well, they didn't try hard enough after this Jack Higgins goal. We run out 36-point winners in just a pretty run-of-the-mill sort of game. Like, there was just nothing too... Like, it was good. It was solid. It was a challenge until we kicked, 5 goals in a row. Start of that second quarter, but yeah, just got the job done. Go the D's. So yeah, a few injuries to talk about from this game. Jake Lever had a huge corky, which that just sucks. He was hobbling around a little bit. Happened in the second quarter, I believe, and said he had to take some medication for it. Did some big strapping, and he just goes out there and plays the rest of the game, which is good. Not sure if he'll be rested for next week or not. Tomlinson can just come in for him if needed. We do have West Coast, so it's not like we have to put our best team on the park. If there's a few people with niggles, probably good to give them a rest. This would be the opportunity to do it. And then, Max Gawn hurt his knee. I don't think it's a PCL or anything like that. We haven't had any press about it being too bad. I can see him getting a rest this week with Sam Wiedemann coming in to play the Luke Jackson role, and Luke Jackson playing ruck for most of the game. Why not? Why not do that? Why not give Luke Jackson a full game in the ruck and have Max take a rest when we should be able to dominate this Eagles side? The VFL also happened. I didn't get to watch the game because it was at the same time as our game. But yeah, Mitch Brown kicked 6 goals in the VFL, 4 of them or 5 of them in the first quarter. And he's a great talent, but he will unfortunately never see the light of day at AFL level again. Like, we would have to be quite depleted in our forward stocks for him to come in. Like, you'd need McDonald, Wiedemann, Jackson, Van Ruin, all to go before he even gets a crack, I would say. And it's just because he's there because he's a competitor, and he's there for the scratch matches and for people to play against him in training. He's good for your Petties, your Levers, your Hunts, your Boweys to play against when we play scratch matches, and that's what he's there for. Kind of like how Majak's there to ruck against Max Gawn or to ruck against Luke Jackson when they're in training. It's because they've got a high level of talent that they can, or a high level of strength that they can train against. So it's unfortunate. I'm sure Mitch Brown knows his role in the team, and that's pretty much what he's there for. But yeah, that just is what it is. Anyway, let's go through some stats. It was a very, very, very high possession game here, especially by the big four. Ed Langdon, Clayton Oliver, Christian Petrarca and Brayshaw getting 39, 38, 36 and 31 respectively. Tom Sparrow had a big game with 23 disposals. Thought he did quite well. Jack Viney in and under doing Jack Viney things. He's just always doing what he needs to. Alex Neil-Bullen had a great game coming back from COVID. I thought Jake Lever, did well with 17 disposals, especially hobbling around with a corky. James Harms, he has really nice flashes throughout games all the time. He's not, going to be the feature because he's not one of our big 3 midfielders. But when he gets in there and gets around it, Harmsy does some good stuff. Stephen May, huge in defence again. Jaden Hunt wasn't around it much, but I'm pretty sure he played a lot of time on Jack Higgins, who was... It's like he didn't even play this game until he kicked that goal at the end. He was just unsighted for most of the game. But yeah, Tom McDonald, decent in his 200th game. It was really nice to see him kick his 150th career goal. Just one of the guys that's been around the whole time, since we were shit, and really bad. He's been through the worst, and it's good to see him go through the best and get rewarded with a 200th game. Pickett and Spargo, just both elite pressure, elite effort. Spargo's kicking was great. Spargo's tackling was awesome in this game as well. He had about 3 or 4 really important tackles that really stopped St Kilda's run. Bailey Fritsch just didn't get around it too much. Trent Rivers looked like he was running a bit better, copped a couple of knocks throughout the game, but yeah, just ended up with the 8 disposals. But yeah, did well. Christian Petrarca leading with the metres gained. Ed Langdon got 566, Angus Brayshaw 496. Clayton Oliver, clearance beast again with 8. Gorney had 4 for himself and Christian Petrarca with 4. Low hit-out game for Max Gawn comparatively to Luke Jackson. 7 tackles each for Harms and Sparrow, which is nice. And then Angus Brayshaw is just intercept marking and getting so many marks around the ground. That's 13 for the game. I think he had 10 last week, 18 the week before. Just doing some great stuff. Petrarca leading inside 50s. Again, I'm pretty sure he's leading inside 50s for the league. So he's really improved on that. Some of that comes from centre clearance where he had 3. Clayton Oliver was 6 there. Score involvements, Petrarca 7. Cosy Pickett was 7. So yeah, he kicked his 3 goals 1. So that'll take up 4 of those score involvements and the rest he gave off, which is nice. Brayshaw had 11 intercept possessions. How many of those were marks? 4 intercept marks, which is nice from 11 intercept possessions. Who were the clean men? The clean men were, look, Stephen May, 93.8%. That's lovely. James Jordan, 93.8%. So he missed 1 handball. His kicking efficiency was at 100. So that's some great effort there. Hunt was pretty clean. Harmsy pretty clean. Look, anything over 75 is really, really nice. Especially if you're an inside midfielder and you're still going at 78.9. Like that's really nice. Like you're right at the coal face, copping the heat, and you're still able to get it out like that, which is awesome. Yeah, we won the disposal count, but they won the kicking count. It was fairly even, in terms of possession. We were definitely a little bit cleaner, especially more efficient going up forward. I was surprised to see that we had 6 more free kicks. It didn't feel like that throughout the game that we had more, but that's all right. That's generally what happens when you're first to the ball a lot. You're going to end up with a few more frees. I thought the umpires were pretty good this game. A couple of bad bounces, but who cares? They have a good ruck combo, St Kilda, and with Gawn not being at his best, probably should have capitalised on that and done a bit better in the centre clearances. But yeah, we won in contested possessions, had less turnovers, didn't overuse the ball too much. We had a few moments here and there where the D's got a bit too handball happy. Yeah, led the whole game, got up to 47 points at one point. Keeping the ball inside 50 with our tackles inside 50. That's a great effort there, getting 13 tackles in a match. The coaches' votes gave Clayton Oliver 9, Angus Brayshaw got 8, Christian Petrarca got 5, Ed Langdon got 5, and Stephen May got 3. Anyway, on to my votes, and I gave 1 to Cosy Pickett for his unreal first quarter. I thought it was definitely helped set up the game, helped set the standard for that first quarter. He was the difference, so he gets 1 vote. Gave 2 votes to Christian Petrarca. I thought he was great around the ground, breaking through packs, really doing some awesome stuff. Gave 3 votes to Stephen May. I thought he was quite strong in defence. He blanketed Max King, who was, one of the hot forwards coming into this game, and left him with 4 touches, most of them coming from free kicks. Ed Langdon, 4 votes after coming off a quiet game last week with 8 or 9 disposals. He comes into this game and gets 39. I think it's the most he's had as a Demon. It'd be pretty close to, if not. Upon watching the replay, I did not realise this at the ground, but I give my 5 votes to Tom Sparrow. He was absolutely incredible in this game and just does it so nonchalantly that it's very, very hard to notice. But he was very important in moments in this game, very clean with his disposal and really helped set things up. But I gave 6 votes to Angus Brayshaw. I thought he was all over the ground. He got heaps of intercept possessions, very, very important ones. Kicked a great goal. Got plenty of metres gained with moving the ball forward. And he has just really made the halfback his own, which is quite incredible. So well done to Angus Brayshaw for such a great game. And then we go to the leaderboard, and it is now being led by a defender. Stephen May just takes the top spot by 1 point, with Christian Petrarca following behind on 26. Clayton Oliver is 3rd with 22 votes, and Ed Langdon sitting in 4th with 20. And then we've got the rest of the boys there that you can see. So that is it for my round 8 review for Melbourne versus St Kilda. Hope you enjoyed the game. Hope you enjoyed my review. Please let me know your thoughts about the game in the comments below. And yeah, the D's.
Petrarca! Oh wow! How good is that? Sparrow to make it a 3-goal, 3-pointer Dudley. He's got it! Surely not another one. Handball to Oliver, streaming through. Bang! Bang, bang, bang! Melbourne are the premiers for 2021!
And it's just so special for such our club, mate, our club.
Lastly, after 57 years of pain, it's coming home.